Hello, I am Cody Bishop, and I am just here. I figured I would put on a promotional, or not a promotional, a instructional video. This is the 80s, and this was a combat plane. Due to too many unplanned landings. So I have decided I will make a video as I replace the balsa sheeting. I believe this is 1/16. So I have my replacement interior right here and ready. I already cut away some of this, and I believe, yes, this bar is thicker than I thought it was. I thought it was the same as the sheeting. It's very good. It's been repaired a few times, so that'll hopefully not run into any issues. I'm going to get out my knife to cut back some of the covering. Just gotta get out the right one. I mainly use this to cut foam on my newer combat planes, but it also works when cutting covering. So let's see what I can just peel by hand. So it appears to be coming very well. Sometimes I would use a heat gun for this, but because I'm replacing the covering anyway, and the sheeting, I'm not gonna really worry about it, and I don't want to pull this all off, because it always ends for me damaging the wing, so I just want to peel it back. And I'm also just going into other covering, I'm not going into the wood. Not that it really matters. But if I was keeping this the sheeting or only replacing parts of the covering, I would be heating this up with a heat gun or a monocoat iron to pull it off. But I don't really find that to be necessary because I don't really care about the sheeting anymore because I'm replacing it right now. My flying's not the best, so I get some damage, as you can see. I don't even need to see it that well. I plan on making many more of these instructional videos. This just happens to be the start. I will not be doing them for every time I replace sheeting, because I only need one when I replace the sheeting on something, because it's pretty much the same process, despite the kind of plane it is. And also, if you guys ever have any questions or need any advice on repairs, feel free to email me at santacody@gmail.com, and I will get back to you and tell you how I would go about the repair. Different people would go about the repair different ways. It would just be my preference. And I'm sure that some people would totally disagree with how I do my repairs, but they always work really well. I never make my repairs boastful. I always make them for strength and performance. However, I do always try to make them look as good as possible because I do somewhat care about my airplane's appearance, and I would just like to keep really just a good looking plane as much as I can. But as I said, it's never my first priority. This top sheeting is looking pretty good. I might turn out to not replace this. But I still want to peel back the covering to reveal all of it, because I don't want to have to remove the fuselage to replace it. The main reason I'm doing this now is because I already had to remove the fuselage. Hold on 1 second. I removed this yesterday. This is the back half. So bumped into it. This is the back half. This is the canopy. And I don't know if it still doesn't have the top half, but the front half. And this was the front half. I had this on it, and this broke off. You can see that broke on the balsa. This you can see is cracked a few times. You can see I had to put a dowel in that a while back. You can see a different one sticking out there when going in there. I had one going in through there too. That fuselage was also my design. The next fuselage I'm putting on it is going to be this back half. This is 1/4 inch bass. And then the front half is going to be very similar to a Fast Richards Mongoose. It's going to be 2 motor mounts with a balsa wood spacer in between them. This is not the one I'm using. You can see the top's a little crooked on it. I might end up sanding it down and using it. And this also appears to be a carbon fiber bush rod, which I never noticed before. And I also really hope this video is useful to you guys. So, okay, I have made the decision now to not resheet the top of this, because it all appears to be in good shape. This is just where the outline of the fuselage was. It looks like the monocoat or something was cut away from that. So, and this also, the original fuselage was made out of aluminum. You can see, if I put this the right way, you can see there's a little piece of motor mount in there. And the aluminum fuselage was meant to be removable, and the idea was the wing would break before the fuselage, and you could reuse the fuselage over and over in many different wings. However, that did not happen. The fuselage bent like a twig, which was very surprising to me. I expected that to long outlive the wing, and this wing has seen many crashes, but always seems to be repaired. So I'm going to get up my repairing knife. And I also want to have my X-Acto handy, because I'm at the point at which I'm going to begin to remove this sheeting. And I want to have the kind of knife I'm going to need. So what I'm doing is I'm placing my finger on the rib to avoid it from tearing it up. And voila. Because as you saw, the sheeting was in fairly poor condition. And a piece of this rib broke off, so to avoid covering my hands in glue, I'm going to hold it with a T-pin. Which is not very common for me to do, because usually I just hold it. But this time I'll do this, just because it's a lot less messy. And I don't want to have to go wash my hands midway through a video. And as many of you that use SEAG will probably know, it does not come off very easily. For me, it's usually on there a few days. When I first started using this stuff, I always had it on my hands, because I was used to a much thicker glue. Until that point, I had mostly used Sigment, which, like this. I know that's backwards to you. That's not. That still is. Never noticed that before. Well, can't show you how the segment's spelled, but it's spelled S-I-G-M-E-N-T, as you would assume. And as you would imagine, Sig makes that. I find it to be a very strong glue, but you know, CA is just got a text message from somebody. It's not very important, but I will just pause this so I can answer it. That pause? No. Still didn't pause. Okay, just got back to that person. Back stuff's peeling away pretty easy. This part, you're really just gonna have to adjust it to your plane. I can't really put a universal way, oh, this will always work best, removing it, because it all depends on the wood. This wood's older than me. 30 years old at least. Just my dad was given this back in the day, the whole plane. So, and it was probably a few years old when he got it. So, it's not a spring chicken anymore. Yeah, like I was saying, you just kind of gotta roll with it, and whatever way you think, there's not really a right way and a wrong way to do it. Every millionth of an ounce counts, right? In control line, anyway. I don't know if I mentioned this, but this is about the same as you're gonna sheet an RC plane. It's all just sheeting. It's the same basic process. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with applying my 16th inch sheeting. So it really doesn't matter if that you're looking at control line or RC. You can follow this. This is my 16th inch sheeting. It's a little bit of a warp in it, but that should straight out. I do want to make sure that my old sheeting was 16. And yes, it was, as I presumed. I'm going to start in the back. And this is wide sheeting. I prefer to keep it in one piece, or as few pieces as possible anyway, with only breaks at with the only necessary breaks being at the spar. So I do need to shave that away a little with a knife. I didn't get all the balsa off. There's some that was still in the verglue seam, and all that is gonna ever do is get in the way and make it not straight. We always want the sheeting to sit as straight as possible, just because it looks better. It's the way I was always taught to do it. I don't really know if it matters. But like I said, looks of the plane are not the most important to me, but I still try and keep it looking good. The most important thing are these, the lead outs. If these things bind, the plane is no good to me. Because if it gets stuck like this, I'm gonna go down into the ground, or an inverted loop depending on how high, and if it's stuck like this, outside loop. Yeah, so those are the most important to me, but I do apologize for all the pausing and unpausing. So now I'm going to work on cutting this to size. I'm gonna angle this down a little bit so you can see the plane. Because seeing me is not really that important. The video quality is not that great because there's a light right above me. I'm trying to think how I can position this so that there's not as much bright light coming from that and reflecting off the plane. Some rags here. I should probably. I should just get that to stay like that. Because the type of light this is does not get very hot. I'm just trying to find the biggest rag I have to do that, so I don't have to use too many. Well, that's not gonna work. Let's say I have like this to push it through with, huh? That's not gonna work. Red magnets. That way I could just like put this up here somewhere to stop reflecting that, but that's not gonna work. So you'll the best video I can get. So gotta get my pencil. That wasn't good. Right, I cracked the sheeting on the other side. Told you it was old and brittle. I marked on both sides. And now I'm going to get my steel ruler. Normally I'd use my steel ruler, but because I can't find it, speed square works. So I'm gonna place this flat on my workbench and put the speed square across. The reason I don't usually use the speed square is because sometimes the planes are not made perfectly square. So I'm just going to put the blade out a little bit. Enough for me to cut. I'm just going to skim it a few times. Applying very little pressure, letting the knife do the work. And I get a pretty decent cut out of that. I need to change that blade though. I do have another one I can use for this. I want to peel that label off just because that's just me. I try and keep my planes light because, like I said, nothing's important to me, as important to me as a good flying plane. It can look good, yeah. It's like a car. If it doesn't drive, I like classic cars, but if it doesn't drive, to me, it's just not worth it. Almost got this label off. Someone wrote on here 14.5. Not sure what that means. But now I'll dry fit this before I put any glue on. That works good, so I'm just gonna, this is just for my purposes. I put a little mark right there so I know how far up the glue has to go. And for this purpose, I'm going to use my CA, just because it makes it a lot easier. Because sheeting, I've had bad luck with pinning it. Sometimes it cracks for me. I know a lot of people do pin it, but if I just use CA glue, pinning is not a problem, doesn't need to be done, and it holds it just as well as my Sigment, which is what I would normally use. When I first got into this hobby, I segmented everything. The CA glue is also a little bit lighter. I don't know if you can tell this, but the sheeting sticks over the edge of each rib, maybe a 32nd of an inch. That's perfectly okay. It's better than being a 32nd of an inch on each side too short. A lot better. So now this is the slightly more difficult part. For this I will need my steel ruler. There's not really a way around it this time, as there was the last time. It should only take me a minute to find it, because I was using it a little earlier this morning. Oh, it's right over here on the floor. So, I'm gonna measure this piece, not the gap, because I want them to line up the best I can. So that's gonna be, I need to go 30 seconds for this one. 4 and 5 30 seconds. Which that's 5 30 seconds. I know to most people seems like a really small gap, but I like it to be exact. That's just me. Also, I don't sand this stuff the ends, because it just doesn't seem like a good idea to me. So this time I do have to measure the gap. And that I can measure in 16ths, looks like. Six 16ths. I know to most of you it probably seems like 6/16 is ever gonna notice that. But to any of you that strive for perfection, would do this. I mean, I know that doing this is probably overkill. More than probably it is overkill, but I'm gonna say I'd rather it be good. I cut this just off of the straightest I could get it. And due to this being such a small gap, there's almost no give in it. So it really does have to be exact size. It probably wouldn't have been a bad idea for me to have made this gap a little bigger. Oh, how hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I could not. And I don't want to waste cheating. So I will just... I'm going to get this into position and just apply glue over the top of it because it is so small. And I would prefer to not have to finagle it too much. So, and then I'll apply some to this side, and some to this side. And there's no reason that shouldn't hold it properly. So, this is the piece I cut length for that and ripped some off of it. So on this one, I just have to rip the length down a little bit, not length down, width down a little bit, and it'll fit well. So I'm going to put speed square on this. I know that this video is seeming a little on the long side for replacing sheeting, but after I get this piece glued in, we will be done. It's not perfectly straight because the grain wiggles a little bit, and with just a knife it's hard to do it straight. I suppose a really determined person with a really sharp saw blade could do that with like a table saw, but that would probably just not be that great either, because it would probably destroy the wood. That's the one piece. So, gotta shave a little bit off this. Because I do want it to fit as good as possible. That's almost a perfect fit. So I'm going to peel this off. Well, not peel it off, take it off. And then make sure that's not stuck. I'm going to apply some glue to this rib. And then this rib. Followed by a bead across the front. And a bead across the back, being very careful not to drip any onto the bell crank and cause any binding. On this particular one, the bolt goes through the spar on only this side. There was no platform. I would assume that was to lighten up the plane a tad. That's not something I would do, but also, if they did it that way, I hear the person that built this was a really good builder, so it probably was a good method. But the lost plane's not something I'm trying to repeat. I have seen these get lost. And by lost, I mean lines broke, bell crank snapped, something. I don't really know what caused it, but something caused it to. Let's go. It was a very unfortunate incident. Could have gone quite poorly. Very fortunate no one got injured with that. But I can tell there's some plywood put in there. And this feels like a spruce spar to me. It's definitely pretty hard. Either that or hard balsa. I can tell it's not bass just based off the color. Could be an extremely hard balsa, I guess. But my guess would be spruce. Spruce goose. So yes, that repair is done. And I hope that you all enjoyed this video. I hope this helps you along the way. If you have any questions, email me, santacody@gmail.com. Just make sure to put a subject line, even if it's just like control length lanes, I'll answer it. But I just like to know, oh, I'm that cheating I cracked. Not a bad crack, so I'll just push that down. Put a little glue in that seam. Hold that up. And that'll be good for this repair. I might do one when I do the end rib on this. That'll be like a video at most. And that should be good. Thank you for watching this unneededly long video. And I hope this helps you in your repairs. I gave you my email address, santacody@gmail.com. Anytime. I don't mind answering questions. I'll probably get back same day or next day.